Good morning, Ethan here. Welcome to Hello Road. It's just a regular Saturday morning. I'm wearing what I usually wear for a Saturday morning. Bright, colorful jacket, leopard print spandex pants. Okay, no, it isn't exactly a regular Saturday morning. Today is the Radwood car show here in Los Angeles. And not only do I want to bring an 80s or 90s car to this 80s and 90s car show, I also kind of want to look the part. So today I have to decide which car I'm bringing. I've got my 1988 Chevy Nova twin cam. I've got my new to me 1993 Geostorm in this lovely mystic magenta color. I've got my Jeep Wrangler YJ, but it is kind of cold today and there is no top for this vehicle and there is no heat, so I'm probably going to skip that one. But if you've been watching my channel recently, you'll know that there's one other car that I've got recently, and that's one I'm going to be taking to the car show today. My 1988 Volkswagen Scirocco 16 valve. Click above if you want to watch the video of that vehicle. Now, I owned one of these back when I was much younger. That particular Scirocco was very unreliable, had tons of problems, and this will be the first long trip that I'll be taking in the Scirocco, so wish me luck. I hope it makes it. Made a quick stop. I'm gonna pick up my brother Brian. I figured the first thing I would do this morning is shove a camera in your face.
Are you ready for some Radwood?
All right, we've made it to Radwood. The car did not break down, which is great. If you know me in Scirocco's, that generally doesn't work out very well, but we made it here. And now they're getting everything set up, so let's go check out some cars. I'm excited.
This is my 1992 Lexus LS400.
It's amazingly clean. Where did you find it?
Facebook Marketplace.
Do you know much about the story of this car, the history?
I think the original owner had it for 30 years, from 92 to 2022. Dealer maintained like all 30 years, which is crazy. And I think it's been garaged most of the time, so that's why the paint is still holding up pretty well and the car is in pretty good shape, especially the interior.
Wow. How many miles does it have on it?
Just over 100.
Wow.
Bought it at 99,000.
Even the leather's in really good condition. A lot of the old Lexuses, you see the leather's all cracked.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it as nice as possible.
Was there a specific reason why you were looking for a Lexus LS?
So I had a 500 SEL prior to this. It got totaled. Oh, this is a pretty perfect replacement for it.
Yeah.
So I just found this car and went for it.
It's in really beautiful condition.
My name is Rob. I brought this 1986 Buick LeSabre.
I mean, it's in really clean condition, so where did you find it? How long have you had it?
I've had this car for like 2 years. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. Family owned it. It was, I think, grandma's car. And
aren't they all grandma's cars?
Well, only a grandma would buy this.
Exactly.
Right? So they had it in the family for years and years. I think she either passed or got too old to drive. They gave it to a grandson. The thing about this was, when she had it, like all good grandmas, she took it to the dealer for everything.
Everything.
There's a replaced transmission from the dealer. All the service records from the dealer going back to, I think, 88 or 89. And then when the grandson got it, he basically parked it. But when anything went wrong with it, they replaced it. The amount of love that got poured into this thing is astonishing. For something that really is not overly collectible.
Sure.
So there's a new headliner, new gaskets, new hoses, you name it. If it leaked, they plugged it. So when I got it, it was in great driving condition. That's why I snatched it up. And I wasn't really looking, but when do you see like a H-body coupe? I mean, they're so rare.
Sure. Especially, you were saying that this quad headlight version is 1 year only?
This was, the year after this, they went to the composites because Ford had done it on the Continental. So all of the H-bodies got composites. They got a different grille, they got a different engine, they got the 3800. This is pre-3800. It's the red dot 3.8. It's a bit of a unicorn in that sense. It's the grille, the headlights. That's how you really can distinguish the 86. And then, of course, the previous gen was rear drive. drive. So this is the first year for the H-body front drive.
So are you a big fan of front-wheel drive GM cars from the 80s? Is that why you bought this, or was there just some sort of...
I bought it because not at the time I would have bought this because I was young and cool, or I thought I was, but it reminds me of an era.
Okay.
Like the velour, the fake wood. I mean, the fake wood is atrocious. I mean, it's so bad. But it echoes that generation, you know, that's what people had.
Yes.
So that's what made it so fun.
Yeah, and it's definitely Survivor. Like, I rarely see LeSabres, especially like this one-year only version. So, and how many miles does it have on it?
It's about to turn 96,000, I think, on the way.
96,000, okay.
So not bad for a car that old.
Yeah, and it's a really, really good shape.
This is my 1987 Citroen BX 19 TRD. It's a diesel. I found it from the UK and I bought it from a Citroen specialist. But before that, the car is originally from France, and it's only had one owner there for almost like 30 years. And after that, the specialists, they found it and they imported it to the UK and they did like a light restoration to it. I found it on their website for sale. I bought it and found it like imported to the state. So basically, BX is, you know, like for me, it's my favorite car for all the time. So I was searching for it for a long time, specifically for like a white body car with the circular acrylic window here. So, you know, like it's more having like this Bertone like style. It's designed by Gandini, which is the same designer with the Lamborghini Countach. The designer himself, he bought two of them. I'm a huge fan of French cars, especially Citroens. And it's got a hydraulic suspension. Right now it's lowered to the bottom. When it's driving, it will be like at the driving position, which is higher.
So in terms of like maintenance and parts and that kind of thing, how difficult has it been for you?
I mean, it's okay. You can like easily find parts in Europe and then like just ship it to the state. We have like a Citroen specialist. There's one in Santa Cruz, so they can like handle it. But the only thing is this car is super easy, except for the hydraulic system.
Yes.
The only thing I'm worried about is the hydraulic system. But right now, so far it's good.
I have a 1985 Toyota mini truck, bought it brand new, so I've had it 40 years already. Paint job is 30 years old. I had a garage for like 20 years because early 90s mini trucking kind of died off. All my friends were selling their trucks for like 2,000 bucks. I was like, I can't sell it for 2,000 bucks. So I put it in the garage, put it in the car cover, forgot about it for 20 years. And all my boys, they started coming back out and they're like, hey, well, I think we're going to start the club back up. It's like 25 years we haven't seen each other. We had a little get together at the president's house and we all looked at each other and we all like gave each other a hug and we're like, let's do this stuff
stuff's
again.
back in style again, right?
So everyone's like, everyone got new trucks and everyone's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna get in a Toyota? I was like, nah, I think I'm good. And then we had a picnic. It's got carburetors and stuff on it, so I was fashionably late, but I just came up the street. Oh, everyone just like turned around and like, oh dang, you still got your truck.
How much of this was like this back in the day?
This is totally, except for the shell.
Except for the shell.
Yeah, everything was period correct.
So you did a lot of these modifications when?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
I think the paint job took 4 years.
So tell me a little bit about what you've done over the years.
It's got all 4x4 sheet metal, 4x4 grill, 4x4 bumper, 4x4 lower valance, 4x4 fenders obviously. The bed is a 4x4.
Yeah.
The fender is molded to the cowl. Cowl smoothed out, took the vents off of it. Got the tilt hood, of course. 8 years ago we started the club back up, and then all of a sudden after we came back out, all the other OG members started coming out.
So tell me a little bit about the Seville.
So the Seville, I'm the second owner. The original owner was in Seal Beach and he passed away. And about 2 years after he passed away, I saw the car for sale and I went and looked at it and the rest was history.
So this is a factory two-tone?
Factory two-tone, everything's 100% original except for like tires, 23,600 miles on it, and everything works. Air conditioning is ice cold. I mean, it's beautiful. What a beautiful car.
Well, tell me some of the things that you like about this car.
The ride. The ride is unbelievable. It actually handles well. It's the small V8, that 4.1 V8, which by 1986 was really The bugs were worked out. Not a lot of power, but it's smooth and quiet. And on the highway, if I'm cruising at 70, I will get 26 to 27 miles per gallon. I just had the window sticker, the original window sticker out, showing some guys here a few minutes ago. $30,126 in 1986.
So tell me a little bit about this right here.
So this is your lamp monitors on both sides. So
Yes.
from the driver's seat, you can see like if your blinker is blinking, if the bright lights are on or the low beams.
Yeah.
Sort of old school.
That's a cool feature. And you also have very nice dark cherry interior, and it's in really good shape.
The seats, I've done nothing to this car.
Yeah.
It's 100% the way I got it.
I brought a Lotus Elan from 1991. It is one of around 550 that were imported to the US from the UK. There are, I think, around maybe 6,000 in the whole world. And this came to the States around the time the Miata did, so it kind of got clobbered in terms of sales, but it's a great car. A lot of people give it grief for having front-wheel drive, but at the time, Lotus was doing a lot of consulting engineering work for like basically every manufacturer and focusing on front-wheel drive cars because the 80s, that was kind of like an innovation, right? Yeah. They believed that for a car of a certain size, certain amount of power, that front-wheel drive was actually the way to go. They built this car to prove it, and it handles extremely well, and I've loved having it. I was looking for something unique. I wanted Radwood era, and I wanted something with a turbocharger. Just love the sound of it. I had to have a convertible because I'm in Southern California.
My 1991 Dodge Spirit RT.
Now, what is special about the Spirit RT over the regular Spirit?
Okay, so obviously the regular Spirit, we all grew up in the church parking lots and at, the A&P. The Spirit RT was made in 1991. It was one of 1,400 made. It had Dodge's first dual overhead cam motor. It was a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It made 224 horsepower, one less than the Mustang GT. And this right here, this box, was the fastest four-door sedan in America in 1991.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Very few people know that, right?
I don't think they understand how special this car is, but because of that, how precious the motor is.
Yes.
Because there's not really parts, and most of these, after the first or second odor, kind of got modded by 16-year-old kids or rotted in a field, so there's very few left.
When you found this car, was it in this condition?
It was not. My cool aunt bought a Dodge Spirit ES, white with the same rims, and I lusted over it. For whatever reason, I saved up all through high school. I bought it from her. It was my first car. So I always had an affinity for Dodges. Upstate New York, ate it away. So after college, I had to give it up. And for the last 20 years, I've been looking for an RT. I found this car right before COVID in early 2020, one owner car. Gentleman owner passed away in the late 90s, and his wife just registered it and drove it every year to and from the DMV. So I just had to completely take it down to metal because Chrysler paint is awful. So I had it repainted. I had it gone through, but the interior and the motor really hasn't been touched.
Yeah, how many miles does it have on it?
63,000.
63,000 miles, that's amazing. Have you ever seen another Spirit RT Turbo?
I have, only because in the last 20 years, I've gone as crazy as flying to Texas to look at one, trying to find a really good one. But in the wild, no, I've never.
RAV4 is something you don't see very often. Would you
That is
agree?
right. That's why I wanted one.
Yeah, so how long did it take you to find one?
I've been wanting to do a 90s build, looking at Civic EGs,
Okay.
big body Corollas, but it always takes me to a RAV4. I actually bought it for my wife. So
Okay.
yeah, she wanted a stick shift, something small, but always took me, then I found it.
And you also happen to have the tri-spoke wheels, which is something that I don't often see.
Yeah, it's a 97 only option for the RAV4.
Did it come with these wheels?
Nope, I
Okay.
have to source it out.
Tell me a little bit about what you like about this car.
Number one, it's unique. Nostalgic. I had one way back in the Philippines.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Same color. It's a Toyota, so
Yeah.
it can last forever.
Yeah, you know it's going to be reliable.
All OEM, the mud guards,
Oh, okay.
the roof racks,
Yeah.
this roof wing, the wind guard,
Yeah.
rain guards, and the console box. Believe it or not, the console box is a rare item.
Is it? Okay. This really is original with a hole in the,
Yes,
in the mud
it
flap?
is. It is original.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm not really a fan of mud guards, but on this one, it
You
needs
need
it
it.
because of that.
Yeah, I know. That's super cool.
I brought a couple Toyota pickups that me and my friends have put together. We started out with an idea, and then we had some kind of trial and errors. We had some stuff that didn't work out at first. But after we started getting the stickers right, we started getting the designs right, we got the date code right for the stickers we put on it, and it's just every time we put something new on it, it came out amazing.
So what did you start with? What were these like when you got these trucks?
This particular truck was completely basic. No frills, it was white. It had some damage on it. It was an original truck. It had 109,000 miles on it from the original owner. No power brakes, no power steering, just the basic steel wheels. And we decided to start with this because it was a great piece of paper. We can kind of turn into what we wanted.
Sure, it's kind of like a throwback rally truck, right?
We were looking at the aspects of making an extra valuable Toyota pickup out of a standard Toyota pickup. We had a basic idea of it. Later on, me and my wife, we went to Vegas and we played at the Pinball Hall of Fame. And I spent about 20 minutes on the off-road game. And so I turned around to leave and I looked back to the video cabinet and I said, that's the truck we're gonna make. But me and my buddy Matt, we were just grinding out. We put some stuff down. He was excellent on finding the right exact parts that we needed. We wanted it just right, just like Ivan Stewart may have had when he was racing the trucks in the late 80s as they were.
And what prompted you to make two of them?
I guess a little obsessive compulsive on my part. Yeah, I can't stop. This one was completely pink.
This one was pink. Oh, okay, this other one.
We bought that at an auction site and it was in a wrap, and then they showed the hood up and all the firewall was white. I was like, this is perfect, we'll take the wrap off. I called the shop, they pulled the wrap off and they said, you gotta get over here. And I looked at it, I was like, how is it pink? It's completely pink.
And the bar on the back too, do they make that anymore or is that something you had to find?
We had to find that, and that was, again, that was my buddy Matt. You know, he's in there and he kind of figured out which one exactly we needed. He did a lot of homework on figuring out the style that they had that was right. And this was it. So when we put it together, it was like the little things. Like we put the bars on and then everybody's looking at it like, oh my God, it looks so great. And then like, you know, the next day, my cousin was working on it. He ended up painting the hubknobs and the center hutch. Every time we did something.
Yeah, little details.
It was better and better. It's fun too. Like when you're driving down the freeway, you get thumbs up from everybody.
My baby, she's a 92 VW Cabriolet convertible.
Yeah, how long have you had it?
I've had her since 2017.
Was it this beautiful when you first got it?
So it was this gross. So I had one in the 80s.
Okay.
And it was lavender to match my bathing suit. And I'm not allowed to drive in my bathing suit anymore. So this one was metallic green, and it is actually Jennifer Hudson's lipstick from a TV Guide ad.
You had a color in mind when you got this
in my head, and I finally found it when I opened the TV Guide. I designed the material, and it's made from recycled canvas, and all new pink stitching, and she's the prettiest little girl. I love her. My husband does car shows, but the hot rods don't mean anything to me because I'm an 80s girl. Someone said, what makes you happy? And I said the 80s. Nothing was better than my Rabbit. I went looking for another 81, couldn't find it. I found out the model stayed the same till 92, so I found a 92. It was 8 miles away, and it was $8,888.
Okay.
And my dad's favorite number was 8, and he did everything in 8s, so it was a sign.
Okay.
So the guy tried to change the price, and I said, I don't care what you charge me. I'm paying exactly $8,888.
And then where did you find this?
This I found on eBay. She just moved in from Mattel.
Okay, good.
Recently, and then they just did a write-up in the Wall Street Journal on it.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
Oh wow.
Her name's Lizzo because she's fierce. She's just so much fun, you know, makes you happy.
I brought a 1999.
Oh yes, it's kind of on the edge, right?
It is on the edge. So actually the concept was in the mid-90s and they started getting sold in Europe and throughout the world in 1997 for the 1998 model year. This is a 2000 Ford Focus Kona edition. I've owned it for almost 12 years. I had to piece together a lot of the Kona items. So for example, the Kona mountain bike. These were exclusive to the Kona edition and they only came in this brown color. This color of the Focus is a dirt metallic and is also exclusive to the Kona Edition Focus. I do still have the original floor mats as well. So you can actually see there's bike tread on the bottom and it actually continues on the driver's side as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is super cool. The engine in here is a 2.3 liter Duratec. I built this one back in 2018, high compression. This is the second engine that I've built for
Did you blow up the first one?
I did, at 33,000 miles.
Okay.
So it lasted a bit.
Okay.
And there were mistakes that I made, but you never learn everything with the first build build that
Sure.
she had. A lot of the errors that I found, I implemented fixes into this engine. She puts down about 200 wheel horsepower. She runs on an M-Tron standalone ECU, 4.06 final drive, along with the Quaife LSD Exity Stage 1 clutch. There's over 100 mods that are done to this car,
Okay.
but a lot of love put into this thing, and I just try to enjoy this thing everywhere that I go. It's just been a really awesome journey, meeting other people in the community and just seeing what she's turned into over the years.
So what drew you to this car initially?
I had no idea the significance of this car at all when I first bought it. I was in college and I just wanted a basic 5-speed or just a basic car that I could learn stick on, learn how to do maintenance and everything. And I've been working about 10 years in the automotive industry because of this car.
Because of this car?
Because of this car.
Oh, that's amazing.
I learned everything that I know about cars because of this car. My very first oil change, tire swap, I mean my engine builds and everything, getting certified in engine rebuilding and machining was because of this car.
That's amazing. So
and
there's
then-
a lot of history and a lot of memories built into this car.
Absolutely. I've pretty much poured my entire life and soul into this car.
Honda built these cars, they're K cars, so they have very restricted specifications for tax purposes in Japan, and Honda decided they were going to do something fun and create a sports car out of these specifications. So this is a 91 Honda Beat. It doesn't have hardly any miles on it. I saw an article in Road and Track magazine back in 1991 about this car, and I thought, I have to have one of those. Of course, you can't bring them into the US until they're 25 years old. So
waited 25 years to get one.
Waited 25 years to get the car.
You knew you wanted one of these 25 years ago?
Oh yeah, so it took a while, but I finally got one.
All right.
A 3-cylinder mid-engine car. It's sort of like a half of an NSX.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, the car has a Mugen intake and exhaust, which is Honda's performance equipment. It sounds like a much more powerful car. So when you're really revving it out, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's like a slot car. It's like you're low and glued to the ground, and it zips around, and it's very tossable and very it's just fun. It's a very pure driving experience. There's no technology, no computers really like in so many modern cars. It's just you and the car and the engine and the gear shift and.
In terms of ownership experience, how hard is it to get something like this maintained? Do you do the maintenance yourself, or parts do you have to import from Japan?
There's ways to get parts from Japan, maintenance parts.
Plus, it's a Honda; nothing ever goes wrong.
Sure, exactly. That's helpful. 64 horsepower, and even with that few horsepower, it probably feels pretty peppy.
Yeah. Oh no, it gets up and goes.
Yeah.
It's just you're not going to win any drag races. In it. It's the old adage: slow car feels fast.
Slow car fast.
Slow car fast.
There we go.
Slow car fast. Exactly.
This is a 1988 Honda Accord LXI with 34,000 original miles. We basically got it from the original owner's family about a year ago. The original owner passed away. Lolita Romero was her name. She bought the car, lived in Santa Barbara her whole life, bought it at Santa Barbara Honda, had it serviced there. She bought it a year or so before she retired and just was a kind of a local lady, and she never really went much anywhere than the local store, restaurant, or doctor's office or something like that. She passed away. We bought it from her niece, who said this was her pride and joy, and that's why it's like in amazing showroom condition. She always had it garaged, always serviced at the Honda dealer. It's just a little incredible jewel box survivor car.
Yeah, it's a time capsule. I mean, the paint is perfect, the interior is perfect.
Sure, nobody ever sat in the back seat of this car, and the front passenger seat maybe a handful of times. I think that was it. Everything works, even the power antenna, which notoriously stopped working on these cars.
Yeah.
This was the era when the Accord started being referred to as mini Mercedes and jewel box and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And I actually worked at Honda's ad agency during this period, and I was the account supervisor on the national advertising for the Accord.
Oh,
so I literally worked on the advertising for this car and the next generation one. So always thought if a really nice example comes along, it'd be fun to have one. And this came along, and it was just like, have to have it. There's many cars over the years that have come across it and then we've let get away. I say this is one that we were lucky enough to find and smart enough to not let get away.
Yeah. right, that's it for Radwood SoCal. Everybody's leaving. Didn't even get to see the Capri. There's so many cars here that I didn't even get to check out.
Anything stand out to you as being awesome? Probably the red Scirocco over there.
It was the reddest Scirocco here.
Reddest Scirocco. I win the reddest Scirocco award.
So much good stuff here. It's always a fun time at Radwood. Until the next one. Starts right up.